Welcome to this Tutor to You Sociology topic video looking at changing patterns of family life, focusing on extended families. Extended families are a form of family that is an expansion of the core family unit. These can be extended vertically, where 3 or more generations of the same family live under the same roof. For example, a married or cohabiting couple with their children and a parent of one of the couple. Some sociologists have suggested that this type of family is increasing, particularly beanpole families, a multi-generational family with fewer children whose family tree resembles a beanpole rather than a more traditional pyramid shape. Another form of extended family is the horizontal extended family. More common in Wilmot and Young's research of early industrial society, this is the family type where there are close relationships between siblings, cousins, aunts and uncles. One generation of the family will spread out widely and act as a support network, in contrast to the privatised nuclear family suggested by the likes of Parsons. In this video we're going to examine the changes to these types of families and some of the reasons for these changes. Extended families are less common in contemporary society than in previous generations. However, recent research by the Office for National Statistics has suggested that multi-family households are on the increase. They've risen in number by 75% over the past 20 years and now make up 1.1% of all UK households. This number includes multi-generational households, such as young couples living with one set of parents and elderly parents living with their children and their grandchildren. Despite recent increases, there has been a long-term decline in the number of extended families in the UK, and we're going to focus on some of the reasons behind this change in the video, as well as examining some of the reasons for the recent increases in extended families, particularly beanpole families. Amongst the general population, there has been a decrease in extended families, and we can look to more traditional explanations such as that of Parsons' functional fit theory for this change. The need for geographical and social mobility in society has seen a decline in extended families over the past 50 years. Recent increases can be seen as a result of greater ethnic diversity in family structures, particularly amongst the South Asian community. While changes to state policies and cuts to welfare have meant that the number of multi-family households has increased in recent years. Let's look at these explanations in a little more detail. According to Parsons, one of the reasons for the growth of the nuclear family and therefore decrease in extended family units was the need for families to be geographically and socially mobile to fit in with the needs of work. This has been accelerated in recent years with the increased globalisation of employment. Both internal and international migration have increased as individuals and their families seek out new opportunities for employment in the global marketplace. This results in many people moving their core nuclear family away from the extended family unit. For some, this can lead to upward social mobility, changing the family's lifestyle and being more focused on individual gains, rather than being tied to the collectivist ideas of a wider extended family. Migration into the UK has also seen changes in the extended family. Berthold found that within the South Asian community, there were higher rates than the general population of young married couples living in the parental home of one of the partners. This is supported by data from the 2011 census, which suggested that Asian families have the highest rate of alternative family structures, which includes multi-generational families, with 21% of households fitting into that category. Reynolds, in her research into Jamaican families, also found evidence of multi-generational families, particularly matrifocal families headed by a grandmother. She also found in her research that these matrifocal families were supplemented by males as a form of visiting relationships, where males play an active part in family life, however do not live permanently in the family home. We'll look at these in more detail in our video on ethnic diversity in families. An explanation for the recent rise in multi-generational families can be found by examining state policies over the last 20 years. Cuts to social care funding has led to more parents moving in with their adult child for support. This works both ways, as often elderly relatives can provide additional support with childcare and finance, in part due to austerity measures. The number of young families moving into their parental homes has increased also, with older generations more likely to be financially stable and austerity cuts to working benefits and lone parent benefits leaving younger working families vulnerable. This leads to more multi-generational families. However, over a longer period of time, there have been increases to lone parent and working families' benefits, which has allowed them to have less reliance upon their extended family networks for financial support and shelter. Although, as we previously mentioned, in recent years, under the Conservative and coalition governments, this trend has been reversed somewhat. It's important to critically evaluate these findings, with many extended family networks remaining, even though the individuals may not live in the same household. Grandparents are becoming increasingly involved in providing childcare for working parents and providing financial support for their children well into adulthood, with some banks even offering mortgages with parental guarantors as an example of how children are becoming increasingly dependent upon financial support from their parents into adulthood. It can also be argued that the family often transcends physical barriers. Building on Giddens' idea of being disembedded, families develop virtual links with family members that have migrated through the internet. Applications such as Skype, FaceTime and Zoom have increased communication between family members and helped them to maintain contact, what is sometimes referred to as the modified extended family. That concludes this Tutor to You sociology topic video on changing patterns of family life, focusing on the extended family. Thanks for watching.